talking about how I save and budget my money as a teenager. My name is Tara and I am 19 years old, almost 20, but still a teenager for now. First, let's talk about my streams of income. I work a full-time job at a daycare as an assistant teacher, so that is 40 hours every week that I am working there. Occasionally, I will also do some Instacart shopping. I haven't done that very much like in the past month or so, maybe 2 months, but in the past I was doing that. And my goal is to start doing that more as I have free time to be able to do more Instacart shopping. So, saving and budgeting. Let's start with more saving thoughts, I guess. When I get paid, it goes directly into my savings account. 10% of my income goes directly from my employer to my retirement fund. My employer will match up to 5% of the income that I put in. I put in 10, they put in 5. So theoretically, I'm getting 15% of what I make put into a retirement plan for my future self. The rest of my income is in my savings account, and then I will go in and look at it. After payday, I will go in with this tool called Airtable, which is a web browser that I go on Safari to use. My brother, thank you Grant, introduced Airtable to me. It's very useful for tracking where your money is going. So I use it just for my savings account, and I have different envelopes for where the money in my savings account is going to be used for in the future. So I have a savings envelope, I have an emergency fund envelope, a car services envelope, I have a travel envelope for future trips that I want to start saving little bits now so that I can do that in the future. I have an envelope for extra money that I want to give and donate somewhere, and then a couple other miscellaneous ones. That is a great way for me to be able to see exactly where my money is and where it's going to be going in the future and how much I have in each section to be able to spend. So when I get paid, I'll go into Airtable and I'll look at everything I have and I'll put in the amount of money that I was paid. I typically will choose to put 10% into my emergency fund and another 10% into my car repairs fund, because I know that my car is old and soon I'm going to want to buy a new car, or whenever it dies I will need to get a new car, and so I want to prepare for that instead of, oh no, what am I do, and spending all my emergency fund on a new car. I don't always put 10% into those two envelopes, the emergency and the car repairs. Sometimes I'll do less. Right now I'm at a point where they're both pretty full envelopes, so I don't feel the need to put quite 10% into it. I'd rather put more of my earnings into my savings account for future life needs. Specifically for me this year, in August, I'm going to start attending the Word of Life Bible Institute. That is a small Bible school, and I'm going to their Florida campus outside of Tampa. The school is going to cost me a lot of money, so the past couple months and going on until then, I'm going to be putting as much money as possible into my savings account to pay for my schooling. My goal is to be able to pay for the school and then also have money left over, because it is in Florida and I don't live in Florida, so I'm going to need money throughout the year to go from school to home to school, or trips like going to Disney because it's not too far from Disney, or just laundry because I have to pay quarters in the laundry machine. You want to have money to be able to spend if needed or wanted. Back before I was beginning to save for this school, I was saving a minimum of 10%, sometimes more, but at least 10%. Growing up, my parents gave us an allowance based off how old we were, so when I was 5, I got $5 every other week. When I was 10, I got $10 every week. It was just by how old you were, how many dollars you got. When we got that allowance, we always had to save 10% and tithe 10%. So for us, tithing means giving it to the church that we attended. I still do that. I save at least 10% and I tithe 10% to my church. And then I do have that separate envelope for extra money if I would like to donate that to my church or to a different organization. I think a big problem teenagers have with saving and budgeting is that we want to spend our money on things, on clothes, on food, like going out with friends, going on vacation, going to the mall, etc., etc. Like Starbucks, don't even get me started. But one thing I've been really trying to work on and continue to teach myself is that I don't need new things. I have so much already. Why should I spend my money on getting things when I already have so much? So that doesn't mean I'm not ever gonna buy something new, because trust me, I do. My job is right by a Target and a grocery store and like 3 Starbucks, because they're inside the stores, and then there's a separate one. There's a Big B and Chick-fil-A. Oh my goodness. There's a lot by where I work, and so it can be very tempting to go out on my break and want to buy things. But I have to tell myself, Tara, you have a lot of stuff. Your closet is full. You have food at home. So what I've tried to create for myself, I guess, is a minimal amount of money for spending. I had been giving myself $50 for every 2 weeks because I get paid in like a 2-week period, I guess. And that worked out pretty well. And then I decided, hey, sometimes it's not working. What if I made it so every day I had $5 to spend? 5 times 7 is 35. 35 plus 35 is 70. So every 2 weeks I gave myself $70 for a month or so. And that worked because if I was like, oh, I didn't spend my $5 today, so then it'll rack up, so maybe the next day I could spend $10. And it didn't necessarily mean that I was spending $5 every day. I really wasn't. I guess it was just a mental thing for me, knowing that I had this much for every day if I chose to use it, and if I didn't, like, that was great, and I could buy something bigger at the end of the week or just keep saving it for the future. My goal as a saver and a minimalist type, I don't know, thing I'm trying to do is to not spend much money and to not spend it on trivial things. So I would much rather save up my money and buy something big, like a new car. So some thoughts or tips that I want you to think about: saving at least 10% and giving away at least 10%. If you don't attend a church, that's okay. You can still donate. There are so many organizations and foundations that you can donate to. One group that I've really enjoyed giving to is the Stevens Children's Foundation, and that is a group that is in Egypt, mostly in Cairo. It's such a large impoverished community, and there's so much trash there, and kids will go out, instead of being in school, they'll go out to the trash to dig through and see if they can find something that they can sell or that their family can eat. And it's just so sad to me. So I want to choose to give my money towards a purpose like that, of helping those kids get a better education, getting good food to eat, clean drinking water, things like that. Also, I will give myself money for gas. I realize I didn't mention that yet. I do have a car, so I have to pay for gas, and gas has been pretty expensive recently. It did go down a little bit, but I don't know how long that's going to stay. It might go back up. Who knows? That's pretty much it. I feel like a lot of people will have more like tips and things. I guess I'm just sharing what I do, and what I do is just try to save as much as I possibly can and spend as little as possible. Especially thinking about paying for school. To be honest, sometimes I do get a little worried because I'm like, oh, like, am I gonna make it? Because I'm not going into debt, you know, and I can't really work while I'm at school. That's not how the program works, because it's not like your typical college, and it is only a 1-year program, so that's good. But I do need to have the money before I start in August, so that leaves me, what, 7 months right now? You know, it's gonna work out, and I'm very positive. I do my best to be a positive person, and I am positive about it. Just don't think too hard about it and save as much as you can. Work if you can, don't burn out, but don't be lazy. Anyways, that is how I save and budget my money as a 19-year-old young lady. I hope this video was useful and informative to you. Anyways, have a great day.